So, Pallavi, since you mentioned that an ICC should have 4 members, could you elaborate on that a bit?
Yes, Garima, we need to look at ICC as a new function which is being introduced in an organization. See, right now, if you look at an organization structure, you have sales, you have marketing, you have HR, you have legal, right? And all these functions with its individuals, with its employees, okay, as a composition of each function, have certain responsibilities to perform. So, under this law, when we say that an organization has to come up with an internal complaints committee, they are saying that you need to all assign individuals from your organization to be part of ICC and then have given them certain responsibilities. Okay. Now, if you look at the overall objective of an ICC, it's very simple. Make sure that let's take the 3 elements: prevention, prohibition, and redressal. These 3 keywords are mentioned in this law. So, this particular entity, ICC, will actually ensure all these 3 things. Now, how does an organization bring ICC members together? So, you have to have 50% of the ICC members as women, and there has to be one chairperson who will also be a woman. Now, imagine a scenario wherein all these members belong to an organization only. Okay, and this is where the beauty of the law is. Okay, imagine all the members belong to the organization only, and an individual brings a matter to them. Okay. Now, look how organizations work. There are people who have been working together for a long period of time. There are individuals who have formed a camaraderie. There's a healthy working environment going on. Some people are friends, some people get along, some people don't. Now, if the matter stays within the organization and and an individual brings, a woman brings actually a case to them, there's a risk that the woman may or may not get treated in the most, or forget the most, in an unbiased and an impartial manner, right? Because in the element that all these people belong to the organization only, right? So that's why the law said that okay, when you constitute an ICC, you have to have one external member also. What this one external member who does not belong to the organization and has no association with the organization and is also not an invested person in the organization will have a completely non-biased and impartial view. This individual will balance the remaining 3 who are part of the organization, which means that if as a woman you bring a matter or an incident in front of the ICC alone, internal members alone cannot decide to let go of it or cannot decide to not to take notice of this. They cannot ignore your complaint, because if they do, you will always have an option to approach the external member. That brings the balance. Now, the important question is who this external member should be. Now, we need an external member who, if we go by the basic qualification that this law has defined, the external member should be someone who has legal knowledge. And second requirement is someone who has worked in the area of women rights. These are the 2 basic qualifications that the law has suggested when an organization starts looking for an external member. When this person comes in and becomes part of the organization, that's when your ICC is complete. So I actually meet a lot of individuals. I talk to a lot of organizations wherein they say that we are compliant or we already have an ICC in place, and I ask them that okay, who is the external member, and they say that we do not have an external member but we have an ICC in place. Now the thing is that if you do not have an external member, your ICC is not complete. Because even though the name says internal complaints committee, it's supposed to mean that it's an internal mechanism that an organization has to handle any harassment or discriminatory behavior against women. But it does not mean that it is supposed to be comprised of only internal members until and unless you have an external expert on board of your internal complaints committee. Your ICC is not complete.
Okay. And does the law specify any gender for the external member?
No, it has not. I have read the law and no, it has not specified any gender. Other than these two basic qualifications, there is no other specification. But sadly, if you actually go around looking for a combination, someone who has a legal knowledge and someone who is also, worked in the women rights area, how many men will you find who are working for women rights, right? So eventually, most of the organizations, or actually majority of the external members that I have ended up meeting, are women. I have met a couple of men who are trying to enter this space, okay, because they do believe in gender equality. They do believe that the organizations should become compliant with these guidelines. They do believe that when women step out and enter the workspace, there should be a safe working environment for them. But sadly, organizations are not comfortable with having a man on board as external member. So this is a little ironic, but that's how it is.
Alright.